Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. Los Angeles Lakers. They are in the headlines. They may not be in the NBA Finals like everybody thought and everybody was picking. Unlike on this show, we knew they weren't going to get there. But they were in the headlines because they just sold for a record-setting price of $10 billion. The Buss family is finally relinquishing full ownership, at least full ownership stake of the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Ramona Shelburne reports that Jeannie Buss is going to remain the governor for at least a number of years, whatever the hell that means. But I don't even know how it's possible if you don't have the full ownership of the franchise. But I'm sure the NBA will figure out how to help the Lakers. But anyway, Mark Walter has now bought this franchise. Who is Mark Walter? He is the CEO and founder of the holding company TWG Global that is involved with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and also has a stake in Chelsea, the European power over there in Europe for soccer. This is a huge sale, in my opinion, Tyson. Now, I'm going to get your impact, or I'm going to get your thoughts, and we're going to talk about this impact. We're going to talk about what this means. But when this came through, I want to hear your initial thought, because I was taken aback by it.
Well, I mean, first of all, there's many reasons I could never be a businessman, but I don't understand valuations at all. It's just like, what? Like, you could have told me this was $100 billion sale, and I would have been like, yeah, dude, that checks out. Because was it 10.6 or something like that? And then you factor in the percentages and all that stuff. But they're the biggest brand in professional basketball and close to it in professional sports. I mean, it's them, probably the Yankees, Cowboys. Like, those would be of American franchise, bigger than anybody in the NHL, obviously. It's been a secret, that everyone knew for a long time. The Lakers, didn't have a ton of money. They weren't really run like a business. They don't have scouts in these gyms the way other people do. So my first reaction was, shit. Like, are you kidding me? This is what we got to deal with? Because I'm looking at the Los Angeles Dodgers, and like, it's going to be different because there's a salary cap in the NBA. But now the Lakers, what does Mark Walter care about the second apron? What does he care about keeping these things together? Luka wants what? Sure, give it to him. I don't care. And that's like, we've joked and ha-ha'd for 10 years since they won with Kobe in 09 and 2010. Of all these guys the Lakers were going to get and never got. And then when LeBron actually showed up, it was like, oh, holy smokes, this might happen. And then they go get Luka, but it's still like, they don't really want to be playing with the rest of with the Warriors and some of these other guys when it comes to spending money. Now I don't think they care, and that's terrifying for the rest of us.
Yeah, and I'll give my thoughts on this. I'll do a little cleanup because I may have been a little not accurate with what I said. So basically, Mark Walter was a minority owner in the Lakers stake. So they already had he didn't just come in like Ballmer did and buy the Clippers. So
right.
what he's going to do, he's going to acquire the majority ownership stake in the Lakers, which is valued at $10 billion. So that to be more accurate and kind of fair to the situation that's going on. But it is the most expensive purchase of a U.S. pro sports franchise in the history. So, I mean, obviously this is a monumental thing. What does this mean? And I think Tyson laid it out here. Let's just talk about the impact, because the finances, who cares? The Los Angeles Lakers are back. They acquired Luka. This is not this new ownership group there's going to be no hamstringing what the front office is able to do, because the second apron was terrifying of the Busses, because let's be honest, the Lakers, while they were great in valuation, Tyson, you don't make money that much unless you sell the franchise like the Busses just did. Before, it just looked great in name. Oh, Lakers worth $8 billion. Oh, the Lakers were, yeah, but I'm not an $8 billion heir because I own the Lakers. Only if I sell the team do I get $8 billion when that happens. So the Busses were relatively poor. I'm putting that in quotes for those on not watching on YouTube, compared to the rest of the NBA, compared to Mark Cuban's, compared to the Ballmers, compared to the Josh Harrises, who actually have liquidized cash, who, if they do go over that type of threshold where you get taxed, that doesn't necessarily hurt you. The Joe Lacobs, like Tyson said, when it comes to the Warriors, where you actually have cold hard cash that you can pay out and give the NBA when it comes to the penalty of going over the second apron. Walter has that. Walter's got that money. He doesn't care, like Tyson said. We just see it with the Dodgers. If you're not a baseball fan, just know this. They don't care. They pay for everybody. They want to bring success and championships to Los Angeles. They did that for the Dodgers. That's what they're going to try to do with the Lakers.
Yeah, and like, the buses, were they the only NBA owners that was like this was their job? You know, like that sort of, to so to speak. They didn't have like additional revenue streams outside of this, to my knowledge. And
I
look, I
believe
don't
so.
know
Yeah.
how billionaires operate, so maybe they did. I don't know. But it's like this is scary. And like you mentioned, the Dodgers and Chelsea, but it's like F1 teams, and it's all these other things that they have a hand in. And everywhere you look, these guys are winning. And it's I can't take this, man. I can't go. You know, as a Suns fan, they finally get out of hell in 2022, or in the bubble in 2020, and then they go to the finals in 2022, and now they suck again. But for the Lakers, like, look across the street. Look at what Steve Ballmer did, you know, and same arena. You don't even really have to look across the street, but it's like, or new arena, I guess, for the Clippers. But there's a blueprint out there that many NBA teams have followed. But sometimes those teams are bought by people that don't understand how to run professional sports organizations. And that's the biggest thing here, I think. And people, you know, sticker shock at the $10 billion, and people are talking about that and how does it play in. But on the court, you know, or in the scouting department, all of these other things that go into running a professional sports organization, this is a huge improvement. And that's no disrespect to the Buss family, but like, you know, Jerry won 11 of them things and 60% win percentage and all that stuff. What has it been outside of the bubble in 2020 for this franchise?
Quote, the Lakers can finally be run like a real business, end quote. That's in an ESPN story. And that's basically what Tyson and I are getting at here. The gloves are off, per se. It's a storied franchise. People wanted to come. You know, it was kind of a joke, and we all made fun of it. Oh, they're getting Giannis. Oh, they're getting Dame. Oh, they're getting all these guys in the offseason. It's like, guys, you're fans. But the reality is the buses can't afford it. Well, now the Walter Group can, or Walter can, and his holding company can. It's still going to be tricky when it comes to how the NBA the soft salary cap is set up. You know, it discourages the 3 stars model that we saw with the Heat, with the Warriors when Durant was there. But you can still get around certain things. And I think the Lakers are here to stay. They're going to build around Luka. This is going to be a prominent team for the foreseeable future, Tyson. And of course, it's the Lakers. And I don't think that's a bad thing for business if you're the NBA.
So when Walter bought the Dodgers, it was like Friedman came from the Rays.
Yep.
Right. And that was like, hey, he's poaching this small market general manager. Like, this is, hey, he's running the team. Rob Pelinka seems safe. Like, we all think that. But, you know, maybe like if Detroit keeps getting better, some of these other teams, it's like, this is not a guy who he's got, we assume at least, less loyalty maybe than the Busses did to some of these other people around the organization, which also allows the Lakers to be able to do things that maybe will be a little bit different. And again, it's hard to compare to the MLB, which is with the no stat. Like, he's not going to go out and get Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts because he's the only one that can afford them. Well, they traded for Mookie, but you understand what I'm saying. But now they are actually a player for all this stuff. This is not the free agency class maybe to get all excited about, because like if his big moves are to re-sign LeBron and bring in James Harden, I think people are like, what? But those are probably the 2 best free agents on the market this year for the NBA. But as we get down the road, you know, the local TV deal with Spectrum that the Lakers have, like it was like $3 billion or something to broadcast all their games. They're going to have so much freaking money, dude.
Yeah, this is a game changer, and it's not just for the Lakers. This is a game changer for the NBA. The ratings are down. We all know that the broadcast partners have overpaid an inflated price for these TV packages, and that's really kind of keeping the bubble bubbling. But the return on that's going to come, man. And if you don't have an audience to support that, I understand that they just sold it off to NBC and to Prime, and they kept it on ESPN. But this is real business. Like, if there aren't eyes on this, and like I don't care about the social media numbers and all that, like you need to sell advertising. The NBA is going to be in trouble down the line. But if the Lakers are that brand that people despise, Lakers are that brand that people root for, there may be an increased audience coming, Tyson, and that could be a savior for not just the Lakers, but the entire NBA. I don't want to get conspiratorial and all that, but that's just the reality of the fact. When the brand is good, now the Knicks are good too, the NBA is licking their lips at this thing.
And kind of the last thing for me, that this Adam Silver talked, earlier this year that like later this at the owners meetings and as they meet, their expansion is going to be a topic. And he went so far as to suggest they would hire some sort of subcommittee to like study expansion. There's rumors that Boston is for sale. Like we've been hearing that for a little while. The Lakers just, they get this $10 billion valuation. Does this help or hurt expansion? Like if you're somebody else, if you have $10 billion to throw around, are you eager to get into the NBA business right now? Or are you like, this is insane?
I think if I had the money and I was like a big fan, like let's say like 𝐿𝐮𝐫𝐞, new owner. Let's say I was from Boston, and the Lakers were for sale. I had the money, I could do it. Or the Celtics were for sale, and I've been a Celtics my whole life. Hell yeah, I'm buying that franchise for sure. But if I'm looking at it as an investment, and I'm like, yeah, I like the Wolves, or the Wolves would be cool, and they have Anthony Edwards. I mean, I think you're kind of at the top of what the peak valuation is. Me personally, now, I don't know a ton of the ins and outs, but it feels like the bubble could be coming to roost here. The NFL is just never going to stop growing, in my opinion. So, like, that's something smart if you want to get on something like, I don't know, MLS teams, because soccer continues to grow, things like that. MLB feels at its peak, but maybe this has changed the game. I don't know.
I mean, we'll find out, and money's going to keep flowing in. How this, like, what happens with expansion this is a whole thing, and the sale's not going to be final for a long time. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out. For all we know, this thing could go up in smoke, but it just doesn't feel like it.
No, it does not. All right. Well, that's it. Like, subscribe, and share. Tyson's got to go drink himself to sleep a little bit, thinking about what the Lakers could be. We got the draft coming up, though. We got Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
We'll break all that stuff down. Hopefully, the Sixers and Suns don't disappoint. It says the Lakers are in their heyday. All of a sudden, they got new ownership. We hate our owners. We hate our offices, blah, blah, blah. But we'll talk about the draft. We'll talk about what happened in Game 7, celebrating new NBA champ, and we'll get through that. Plenty of stuff coming down this summer. So I got to stay subscribed. Don't miss a single thing we do. Smash that like button on the way out. Share it with a friend. Share it with enemy. And we'll talk to you guys when we talk to you. Peace.